while the other video was uploading, I went ahead and just distributed. So -10 times this one is -40 times negative. You got to remember the negative to distribute, so it becomes +40 on this term. I should have divided with the 5, but I just want to go one step at a time. -10. So we've got and see the pattern. We've got an x prime term, an x which is squared, an x prime y prime term, and a y prime squared term. X prime squared, x prime y squared. And then the same thing here. Here we get two x prime xy terms, which we can combine. So this one was -1/5, this is +4/5. So I make it +3/5. So multiply the 40 by each of these, I get 80/5, 1/25, and -80/5. Right? And then multiply the -40 by each of these three, I get -40/5, -1/65, and -80/5. And then this last one, I went ahead and multiplied the -50√5 by each of these, and that means the √5 would cancel. So this just becomes -50 x prime and -100 y prime, because 50 times 2 is 100. Okay, so we get that big long chain of terms. So we can get rid of all the fifths. You just divide the whole thing by 5, or multiply the whole thing by 5, and we get equals 50. Or we can just, maybe it makes more sense to just do the division. This is 8, 2, 16, 24, and so on. But let's, I think it makes sense to do, as we do that, we'll do that, and at the same time we'll collect the x squared terms. So this is -8 x prime squared. My next x prime squared term is here, plus, and this divides to 16, so plus 16 x prime squared. The next one is here, minus 8x prime squared. And that's it, right? Then, so those are all going to cancel out. 16 minus 8 cancels. All right. So let's start another line. Let's look at our xy terms. We got plus 8x prime y prime. This is plus 24 x prime y prime. And this is not good because we want to eliminate x prime y prime. That was the whole point of this. Get rid of it. Oh, but this is going to come to the rescue because this is -32 x prime y prime. I guess I just gave away the game just now by telling you that is the whole point. That's the instructions is eliminate the xy term when you do this. And this is how it works. It's like you get all the x prime and y prime terms, they cancel out, so it's 0. So now we just have y squared terms. So we got, let's change colors for that. We've got -2 y prime squared, minus 16 y prime squared, and minus 16 y prime squared again. Minus 50x on minus 100 y prime. It's 10. Okay, but now since we only have y squared and y's, we don't have any, since the x we're going to eliminate it as well, this is going to be that, what conic section has only one square term? A parabola. So this is going to be a parabola, and we're going to get the y squareds together. We're going to have -34 y prime squared minus 100 y prime equals, we'll add that to both sides. We'll have 50x prime plus 10. And then we'll complete this square. We want to get this to be like a square so that we can get it into parabola standard form. All right, so give me a second to do that. I might have caused a mistake that was giving me and us a hard time, or why it wasn't coming out. This is too messy, And so I was like, what else? Something else was I gotten wrong? And I think it was over here. Over here. I think I made a mistake over here. So when this was squared, this squared should have been 4/5 here, right? So yeah, this is right. This should have been 4/5. So then this negative here should have been bigger. So that 4/5 should become right here, 160, negative 160 fifths. And so instead of -2, -16, -16, it should be -32. Which means that altogether we have -50 y prime squared minus 100 y prime equals 50 x prime plus 10. And with that, I think it starts to make more sense. But I'm worried you can't see this at all, this pink writing. I'll read it one more time because I'm not going to recopy it. Negative 2 y prime squared minus 16 y prime squared minus 32 y prime squared minus 50 x prime minus 100 y prime equals 10. These three, all negatives, 2, 16, and 32, combine to make 50, negative 50 y prime squared. And these two just stay the same. But this one gets added to both sides. So I keep all the y stuff on one side, negative 50 y prime squared minus 100 y prime equals 50 x prime plus 10. It's getting towards the parabola standard form equation. I'm going to divide out the negative 50 all the way through, and that gets me y prime squared plus 2y prime equals negative x prime minus 1/5, because I just divided by 50. Everything divided by 50. Excuse me, divided by negative 50. So all the signs switched. This became 1. This became 2. This became negative 1. This became negative 1/5. Now I complete the square up here by adding 1 to both sides, plus 4/5. And now this becomes y prime plus 1 squared equals negative x plus 4/5. I can take the negative out and make it a coefficient of the whole thing. That would be x minus 4/5. And that tells me that the center of this parabola is 4/5 comma negative 1. Not the center. Parabolas don't have a center, but they have a vertex. Anyway, but that's the standard form equation. And I guess p would be negative 1/4. But that would be important if we were going to graph the parabola. It would be a horizontal parabola facing that way, but what, vertex 1, negative 4/5. But then the whole thing's rotated by 26 degrees, so 1 negative 4/5 will rotate to like up here, I guess, a little bit. That's not a scientific graph. It's not, by that I mean it's not exactly right. But that's all I'm doing on that problem. Maybe you want to. All right. Good luck with that.